Suppressing Illegal Fireworks in the Mad County Area. All fireworks are illegal in Los Angeles County and in the Mad unincorporated area. Mayor Garcetti has given full support to enforcing the law, as has Supervisor Catherine Barger. Both were instrumental in supporting Measure F in Duarte this past year. Supervisor Barger was the first politician to endorse the measure, made a video for us, and offered to help offset the funds Duarte youth groups would lose from sales. First, let's look at the area Temple Station serves. The station serves 5 incorporated cities with 135,872 residents, and 5 unincorporated areas with 59,544 residents. Overall, law enforcement has to cover almost 50 square miles of territory, split almost in half between the incorporated cities and the unincorporated areas. One of those unincorporated areas is the Madtown area. It is actually quite small. There are less than 100 streets. The area is tiny compared to the 3 incorporated areas surrounding it, and it's surrounded by average cities. It has the potential to be a cute, safe bedroom community. The number of residences in this area is very small, just 2,294. Let's detail some of the concerns that citizens have regarding illegal fireworks. It's common knowledge that gunshots fired into the air increased during the 4th of July. At a recent Madtown council meeting, it was stated that law enforcement often parks their cars underneath overpasses to protect themselves from bullets. That's not comforting to those living in the area, day in and day out. There's also the fact that suppliers of illegal fireworks bring in other things we don't want in the community, like drugs, guns, and stolen property. This is organized crime, and getting rid of, or at least lessening the illegal fireworks that are brought in, would lessen these other items from coming into the area as well. People are afraid of getting hurt. Those who get injured from fireworks are often not the people who are using them, but instead innocent bystanders. Then there are the environmental threats that we are all aware of. The particulate matter in the air that is harmful to everyone, especially those with breathing issues. Polluted water basins from packaging and discharged items. Wildlife and pets suffer extreme trauma, and the risk of fire is now greater than ever before. Mobile homes are also at risk. There are 2 mobile home parks in the Madtown area. Many residents there are seniors. And some of these residents are either underinsured or have no property insurance. A fire in one of these parks would be devastating. People could easily lose their homes and possibly become homeless. Other concerns residents have noted are worries about property damage, not being able to enjoy the holiday, bullets and gang activity, hostile exchanges with neighbors, being asked to initiate citizens' arrests from law enforcement, and most of all, feeling overlooked and not important because of the area that they live in. Residents are also frustrated by lack of access to public information. Within the last month, we found it extremely difficult to get data for Madtown area statistics, neighborhood watch groups, data on fires, data on injuries, data on gunshots, data on citations. There's no main website for the area, and it's hard to even find a map or demographics on the population. It would be helpful to have public access to this information via the Temple Station website. The site has lists of crimes for every year, yet nowhere on the list is there a category for illegal fireworks. Is it categorized as a misdemeanor? If so, it should be listed. If not, where are the numbers for fireworks? Where is the breakdown for the unincorporated areas? Data from the incorporated cities is easy to obtain through each town's city clerk's office, but numbers that apply to the county areas is not readily available. There are also concerns about county costs. The county is spending money on patrol officers, but tickets are not being issued. That's a loss of county funds. We also don't know how much money is being spent on other resources associated with the fire department or emergency medical services. The state is also losing money. Illegal fireworks cost $10 a pound to dispose of. They are legally supposed to be destroyed by the bomb squad and pose a threat to all involved in their handling. Just a few confiscations cost thousands of dollars, like these few from Long Beach and Riverside. CAL FIRE seized 15,000 pounds on Interstate 80, which goes directly from Nevada to California this year. That has a street value of $23.4 million. This year statewide, California seized more than 140,000 pounds of fireworks at a cost of $1.4 million. Let's look at the current efforts at reducing illegal firework discharge in the Madtown area. It's at the point where residents are getting belligerent and tell law-abiding citizens that nothing is ever going to be done because nobody cares. This sounds exactly like what is happening in Boyle Heights.
Illegal fireworks shows like this one, posing a threat to everyone when they're not done professionally. CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen live in Boyle Heights, where it looked like a professional fireworks show behind you, but we know those were illegal fireworks, Jeff.
Yeah, you can't tend to forget that some people are launching these things out of their backyards or in the middle of the street. You know, several times tonight we saw black and white units zipping down the street with their lights and sirens. And even though there's a warning against illegal fireworks in front of this police station, when you look around us for 360 degrees, you are reminded of why it is just so overwhelming to police. Tonight, a barrage of fireworks lit up Boyle Heights. You can be sure this is not the safe and sane kind. A band played at this house party. But the stars of the night were the fireworks organized by a man who goes by the name Hector.
It's a tradition. It's for the family. All the kids love it. As you can see, the smiles on their faces. And we get the neighbors sitting in the corner and they like it.
But not all of the neighbors enjoyed the explosive shows.
I think it's like unsafe because a lot of the little kids they could get burned or anything, and some parents let the little kids burn fireworks, and I don't think they should do that.
This family says they're mindful of the kids.
Well, we make sure that the kids don't light up nothing. Make sure that the grown-ups do everything and stay away and keep a distance.
Michael Hernandez says he's been enjoying his neighborhood's tradition in recent years, which happens all around LAPD's Hollenbeck station, where officers can't really clamp down on the illegal activity.
Yeah, they can. Where are you going to start? It's here, it's there, it's back here, it's down the street. Yeah, it's almost impossible to control.
We just hope they don't pass by.
So really important reminder, if you get busted with illegal fireworks in LA County, you could face a fine up to $5,000. Let's send it back to you.
The Madtown area is following the same pattern, and it needs to be stopped for the safety of everyone. According to a report given at the July 17th Madtown Council meeting, numbers were given on how many calls came in, how many tickets were issued, and how many pounds of illegal fireworks were confiscated. Citizens were told to keep on calling, even though calls were going down. The sentiment was that people were giving up, but don't get discouraged because law enforcement is out there. Unfortunately, the information provided was for all of the areas Temple Station covers, not specific to the Madtown area at all. People attending Madtown meetings are expecting to hear information and data that relates to the Madtown area. This is not only confusing, but misleading, especially since calls coming from the Madtown area actually increased. If we look at just the calls that came in regarding illegal fireworks for the past 3 years, it appears as if overall calls are going down. However, calls from the Madtown area alone are actually going up. Just between 2018 and 2019, there was an increase of 70% in the Madtown area alone. And if we look at the incorporated versus unincorporated areas, it's clear to see that the only places where calls are going down are within the towns that have tickets issued to them. A 52% drop in calls from places where tickets are actually issued. The county area calls are rising, a 55% increase from last year overall. We contacted each city for the actual number of citations issued from July 1st to 5th of this year. This graph shows the numbers for each incorporated city and the data for the entire unincorporated county area. Again, why are tickets being given out in all of the incorporated cities but none issued to the county area? It's important to note here that the tickets reported by the Temple Station was 64 overall, but the total tickets reported by each individual city add up to 69. Going back to the original assumption that overall calls are diminishing, that's not the case. Duarte banned fireworks last year, and as a result, there were far fewer calls coming in from that area. Calls from Duarte and Bradbury alone went down the past year from 46 to only 9. That's a difference of 37 calls that should somehow be factored into the final analysis. If we add these calls back in, the overall number of calls would not have decreased at all. Even though the Madtown area is small, the calls coming in from that area amount to 18% of all the calls received for illegal fireworks. But when it comes to tickets being issued in that area, it's less than 1%, nowhere in proportion to the number of calls coming in. Looking at the tickets that were issued over the past 3 years, we find that there is virtually no Madtown enforcement. Over the past 3 years, only 2 tickets have been issued. For 2019, 0. 0 tickets, yet 53 calls were made. The department did give out over 60 tickets in other areas. Illegal behavior is now considered the norm. Fireworks have been illegal in Los Angeles County since 1973. Yet people expect to not get tickets because it just doesn't happen. Demonstrated by this comment from a resident comforting a friend because she was ticketed. Quote, "Wow, after years of turning a blind eye in Mayflower Village, so sorry you were the first one ticketed by the sheriff. Would have been nice if they started with warnings." Unquote. So what can be done? Well, we did some research and found out some of the strategies other towns have successfully used. Things that have worked quite well. And the formula that we used here in Duarte to go from 32 citations last year to 8. Here is our recommendation. We suggest a pilot program to curb usage of illegal fireworks in the Madtown area. To accomplish this, there are 3 areas that all have to be addressed. Each area will have some impact on the situation, and collectively they can help reduce the problem and provide valuable information on what works, what doesn't, and how it can be applied to other troublesome areas in the county. Using this plan, we were able to not only make fireworks illegal except for a public display, but the results were dramatic, better than anyone expected. Usually it takes several years to see a sizable improvement, but using this threefold approach will help speed the process up. It includes education, entertainment, and enforcement. First, let's talk about education. Education can go a long way in reducing this behavior. When people learn things, they can change. Education can deter people from using fireworks altogether. We need the help of the fire department. Graphic demonstrations to show how damaging these things can be. Graphic pictures can be posted on signage to show what can happen when things go wrong. Speakers can talk at a community event who have had personal experience with firework injuries, such as our citizen Janie, who will tell you later how her son was blinded and paralyzed years ago from a safe and sane firework. Her life and her son's was never the same after that, and the public needs to hear stories like hers to know it can happen to anyone. We must appeal to the children. Children are the future, and even if adults persist in their behavior, children can often change the behavior of their parents. Children need to learn it's not okay to play with fire, ever. Fireworks can be the focus of public safety outreach efforts. One city had good success with a fireworks surrender event. No questions asked, just turn in any fireworks in an effort to get them off the street. Another town found a way to raise money for a good community cause by allowing people with parking tickets to make donations to the organization in return for their ticket to be discharged. Something similar could be done with this, but apply it to turning in fireworks, to forgive a ticket, or for each pound of fireworks turned in. So much money could go to different causes. Residents need to know that all fireworks are illegal, all of them. Signs must be posted to let them know. There are not many streets in the Madtown area. Signage is of utmost importance and should be in both Spanish and English. Locate community sponsors who can pay for free gifts for the community. These can be given out at educational events. Things like this $25 surveillance camera, which will help with all crime. Goodie bags for kids that include light sticks, stickers, etc. And bike helmets for kids to stay safe and learn good safety habits from the start. We need help from neighborhood watch captains. Are there any? Where are they? We need to get people involved. Revive groups if needed, or form new ones. Hold regular meetings. And work together to identify trouble around the holiday. Entertainment. People want to celebrate. They want to have a good time. And just like children, if there isn't anything appropriate for them to play with, they're going to get into things they shouldn't. Attention needs to go into providing some local events for families. Pamela Park is a great location for a 4th of July concert, a youth talent show, contest, and more. If you provide free entertainment for local families into the early evening, you'll have them at the park instead of home setting off fireworks. Even if they go home later and discharge them, the total time has been cut down. The small town feel is an advantage. Use it to involve the churches. Hold a cook-off at each church and then have the final winner announced at the park. Churches can help provide transportation there and back and strengthen citizens' ties to both church and community. Celebrate safer traditions. Form a local citizens group who is interested in organizing such events. Think about how to offer safer traditions. Help make sure the Mayflower Village Parade is safe and has the necessary permits. Encourage and offer safer traditions. Create new events. Enforcement, the most important issue. With 1 or 2 patrol cars, there's no reason why tickets should not be given out. If there are not enough cars or officers, we need to look into other ways to obtain personnel. We have support here from the neighboring cities of Monrovia and Duarte, who are willing to help attack this problem by helping out with resources. Using undercover officers may also work better than uniformed officers. A security firm can also be hired to provide more manpower. And volunteers can be recruited to help out too. More people in the area who can give out citations means more tickets. That means more money to the county, and it sends a message to residents that things are going to change. There's also policy issues. Jail time can be given to offenders, but that does not happen. Fines should be enforced. Catching people in the act is difficult too, but not impossible. Tickets are issued frequently in all the incorporated areas, and other towns issue tickets too. It's dangerous and criminal. What do we need to do to enforce these laws? Ordinances need to be updated. Fines should also be increased to make it hurt more if someone is caught with illegal goods and/or fires them off. Property owners should be fined if someone on their property sets off illegal fireworks. There's no reason why a good video that clearly shows where the fireworks are coming from can't be used as evidence to issue a citation. The law needs to be changed to make these things happen. This video is a good example. Finally, we recommend a task force be set up. Things that have been helpful and not necessarily expensive are things like a fireworks hotline, so calls are sent directly to the officers in the field and people feel like their call is not getting lost. Putting undercover officers in strategic locations. Using surveillance cameras at main streets. Many cities have had huge success in going after distributors for the area. They set up a sting operation and are able to get large stashes of fireworks off the street. Cities like Glendora, El Monte, Westminster, Costa Mesa, and many more. When citizens turn in neighbors and they are fined, they should be compensated. Calls can remind people that fireworks are illegal and note the number to call if someone is using them. Heat maps are very effective, and the information should already be there to develop those for the past few years. Once the worst areas are known, send enforcement teams to those areas often. And surprisingly, some people don't even know fireworks are illegal in the area. They've been doing them for so many years, they assume it's okay. Signs must be posted in English and Spanish with the fine amount and a number to call to report illegal activity. Signs and banners posted throughout the area will show residents that there is going to be an effort to enforce this, and if caught, the penalties will be stiff. To summarize, not a single thing mentioned here will eliminate the illegal fireworks problem in the Madtown area. However, each individual idea will deter some people. Collectively, all these things can reduce the discharge of dangerous and illegal fireworks. People who live in the Madtown area need to know they are worth the effort, that their homes, families, and safety is important, that effort will be taken to make things better. No one expects drastic change overnight, but taking steps, even small ones, in the areas of entertainment, education, and ultimately enforcement can help bring the problem under control over time. It's time to make the small, unincorporated area become the cute, safe bedroom community that it has the potential to be. Getting control over the discharge of illegal fireworks is the first step. But it will take a cooperative effort among citizens, law enforcement, county resources, fire department, and nearby incorporated cities. We're asking for an action plan. Who will do what? A timeline that will help guide those involved so that some change can be expected for next year. Monthly updates can be provided by a once-a-month meeting with all those involved. And most of all, to start now. And now, if anyone has any additional ideas or thoughts, let's work on them. Let's work on the action plan and go over the immediate and long-term goals. Schedule another meeting now, and let's get started. It's time for a change, but it needs to start now.